welcome to Mint Condition. I'm Antonieta Collins. It's one of the most notable and controversial sporting events of the 20th century. Muhammad Ali and Sonny Liston's fight in 1965. Now, the fight yielded one of the most iconic sports images of all time, a triumphant Ali standing over Liston, and it's about to yield some historic memorabilia as well. Both Ali's and Liston's gloves from the fight are hitting the auction block, and here to talk more about it is Heritage Auctions' Chris Ivy, who is handling the auction. Chris, thanks for being with us today.
My pleasure.
Chris, we have to ask off the bat, how did you get these in for auction?
It's actually a great story. The gloves were unknown to exist to the wider collecting community until this auction, and that's because they were originally seized immediately after the bout by a gentleman named George Russo, and he was the boxing commissioner for the state of Maine. So he confiscated them due to the controversial ending and the phantom punch, and they stayed in his family's possession for decades. And they were ultimately sold to a collector just a few years ago, and that collector has consigned them to our auction.
All right, authentication, always such a big part of the auction industry. How did you verify that these were the real deal?
That's a great question, and proper authentication is always the key to the vetting process. So we start with the basics, and that's that these are Frager 8-ounce professional model gloves. And then we look at the provenance and history of the items. So we've got signed affidavits from the family of the Maine boxing commissioner, and a signed affidavit from Muhammad Ali himself. And then ultimately the gloves have to speak for themselves, which they do. They were handmade by the Frager Company out of Chicago. So, given that there's unique variations in each glove, there are dozens of specific photo matches and distinct points, including the labels on the back of the wrists, the white leather seams, and the air holes in the palm, which all match up 100%.
Chris, the big question, how much are you expecting these to go for?
Well, these really are as good as it gets when it comes to Ali collectibles. You may recall that we sold all these gloves from the first Liston bout last year, and those brought over $830,000 at auction. So, these gloves are opening for bidding at $500,000, and they're being sold without reserve. So we expect quite a bit of interest, and that they should go well into seven figures.
We'll certainly be curious to see how much they end up going for. Now, these will find their way to some lucky collector on February 21st, as that's when the auction is going to happen. Chris Ivy, thank you for joining us again.
Thank you for having me.
And for more from us, be sure to check us out at facebook.com/ESPN Mint Condition, also on Twitter at ESPN Mint, CONDIT. For Chris Ivy, I'm Antonieta Collins. We'll see you next time.